The next morning, something coarse brushed against my cheek and woke me up. Sand? I pushed my hands against the rug to sit up and felt even more of it. How is there so much? It's only been a night. It was all over the rug and my blanket, too. The buggy also seemed shorter than it was yesterday, half buried in sand. My back is scratchy, too. Feeling like it was inside my clothes, I took off my jacket. Sure enough, fine particles of sand spilled out onto the ground. This uniform won't offer any protection in a sandstorm. I wonder if people actually live out here. There was no water, and sand was everywhere. It seemed like a harsh environment to settle in.
Good morning, Cyrus. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were changing. I'm really sorry.
Not a problem. I'm just getting the sand out of my clothes. It's everywhere. Isn't it bothering you too?
Not really yet, no. I guess I'm more worried about the heat. I have a lower body temperature than most, so I'm very sensitive to heat. Ulrik said yesterday that it gets really hot during the daytime, didn't he? I'm afraid I won't be able to handle it. It would be nice if we could travel in the buggy. At least that way the wind would help keep me cool.
The buggy. I wonder how things are going with it.
It sounds like the repairs are mostly finished. Do you want to come out and take a look?
Sure. I should say good morning to Ulrik and Adage, too. And you. Good morning, Finn. Let's do our best today.
Good morning to you, too. Yes, let's.
Aw, so cute. Goobers. I followed Finn around to the rear of the buggy to find Ulrik, looking like he hadn't budged a centimeter from last night. He was sitting on an oil pail as he used a brush to clear sand from the vehicle's body. Great job, Ulrik. Maintaining this buggy of yours looks like a lot of work.
Yeah, I tried to plan for everything and come up with solutions ahead of time, but this wasn't one I'd anticipated. The problem was the internal components got all gunked up with sand. I installed netting to keep birds out, but it's useless against this stuff. I need to come up with a better filter or something. I don't even know if there is a filter that would keep sand out. For now, I'll just have to clean it as we go.
I see. At least it looks like it's moving again, so that's good.
Yeah, being stranded out in the middle of nowhere like this is the worst. Alright, I think everyone's awake now, so should we get ready to head out?
Where's Adage?
Up here.
Up where? I looked up but didn't see anything. Was he already sitting in the buggy? I figured that must be the case and started helping everyone else clean up. I gathered up all the trash and put it in a burlap sack. Then I put the stove and blankets in the buggy's side storage compartment. Once Ulrik collapsed the tent from the pilot's seat, we would be ready to go. Good morning, Adage. You're looking much better today.
What are you, my doctor? Good morning. I don't think I can handle being out of commission for a third day. I really hope today is uneventful. But, like he said, as long as the buggy is running, there shouldn't be any problems. And the wind will keep me cool. Like he said? Wait, were you eavesdropping this whole time? Those are your words, not mine. I was lying up here, so I happened to hear what you were saying. It's not my fault you can't keep your voices down. If you don't want me to listen, then be more careful next time. Yes, I will be more careful.
You never know when Adage might be listening. He's an expert at hide and seek. There was sand everywhere! The buggy was traveling through a barren wasteland of nothing but sand and sky. I haven't seen any signs of animals either. I wondered if they were all wiped out in the Great Flood, or maybe they migrated somewhere else. My imagination ran wild with questions I didn't have answers to.
Hey, did you find something interesting?
Huh?
There's nothing out there, but you've been staring really intently. Those other two seem like they couldn't care less.
I looked at Finn and Adage and saw what he meant. They both appeared preoccupied. It was like neither of them was all there. What's interesting to me is the fact that there's nothing.
Go on.
The heights and the depths. Even the old sanctuary district, they each have people living there and there are just so many things. That's why a place like this with no signs of life is so curious to me. It's fascinating.
I've never been there myself, so I can't say for certain, but supposedly the desert has life too.
The desert?
Oh, I guess I need to explain that too. A place like this, where it's nothing but sand and never rains, is called a desert. Anyway, supposedly things live out here, but they're mostly nocturnal. It's just too hot during the day. We're probably the only ones awake at this hour. It wouldn't make much sense for them to come out of hiding to see us, would it?
Well, I still wish they'd let us catch a glimpse. Depends on the thing that's alive, but if it's friendly, sure. It felt like about 2 or 3 hours had passed. Our speed had been gradually dropping, so we decided to stop for a short break to tend to the buggy. Kind of a pain, but it has to be done. There was no shade anywhere, so we put up the tent, but it did nothing to shield us from the heat.
Oh, it's so hot here. Hey, keep those thoughts to yourself. You're only making it worse for everyone else. Oh, sorry.
You guys could lose your, wool clothing. You know, just saying. You have options. Later that day. We had finished our lunch and were ready to get underway again.
You're sure it's okay not to separate our trash?
Yeah, it's all just going in the incinerator when we get back to the districts. I forgot you had to do that in the Heights.
Yes, separating it saves time at the waste management facility.
Sounds tedious. I generally don't bother unless I'm dealing with medical waste. What? It's fine. Any infectious materials are disposed of according to proper procedures. It's not like the law requires us to do more than that.
That may be true. You just seem like the type who would enjoy separating trash.
What the hell? I guess you're not wrong, though. I may enjoy cleaning, but sorting through garbage... It's a habit I fell out of when I moved into the sanctuary district. At the institution, they made us work in waste management several times a month once we got older. We'd pick through mountains of refuse, collecting anything that could be salvaged. It wasn't a glamorous job, it was just hard labor. That's why I hated it.
Oh, so petty.
Finn?
Excuse me for having a petty life.
Huh? No, I'm sorry. I was referring to myself. I've been so blessed compared to you, and yet all I do is worry.
Comparing yourself to others, huh? We're all set on different paths from the moment we're born. No, even before that. So there's no sense in measuring your life against anyone else's. Just look at me. Eltcreed Valentine is probably the closest comparison. He's so privileged, it's maddening. But I'll never be the same as Elt, no matter how hard I try. Rather than lose yourself to jealousy, I think it's much more constructive to turn your attention inward. Because I'm an adult.
Yes, and adults always say that they're an adult. That's how you know they're an adult. Oh, Ulrik.
I have to ask, how old are you?
I'm 20.
You're not an adult. You're a barely developed brat.
Shut up! I meant intellectually! Intellectually! You're way more immature than me!
That's exactly what I'm talking about, brat.
I mean, you're not gonna get your point. No one's gonna be on your side if you stick your tongue out at someone, Ulrik. But Cyrus is correct. They're both acting like children. I smiled, watching the two of them argue back and forth, like a proud mum. Then I felt a tap on my shoulder. What is it, Finn?
Take a look at that.
He whispered into my ear, and I peered out across the sand, following his gaze. What are we looking at?
There's something. An animal like a horse or something headed this way.
Ooh, this might be our first new boy. Definitely not your standard horse. Someone's riding it. Ulrik!
Maybe they live around here? Must be a tough people to survive in this environment. But we can spend time admiring them later. Who should make contact? Me?
Ulrik is the most qualified when it comes to negotiations. But if we're just introducing ourselves, I could handle that. No, I'll go. Can you hang back and keep an eye on me? I might need support in case something happens.
You've got it. I can watch from the pilot's seat, so make sure you're in my line of sight. Don't go anywhere I can't see you.
Alright, I'll be careful. I confirmed Ulrik was in position and took a deep breath. Adage looks so calm, and Finn is... Try to relax. We don't know that they're hostile.
I think I should go with you.
What should I do? I had planned on meeting the stranger alone, but it looked like there were two of them heading toward us. Okay, let's go. Now, how should we approach this? Be friendly, be formal, be authoritative. I have no idea, honestly. Does it matter? I'll go... formal? Question mark? Hey, I'll take that. I was thinking, like, what would Eltcreed do in this situation? He'd be formal, so I'm like, maybe Ulrik would like formal? Awesome. I should be formal with them. Perhaps I can figure out who they are. Hello there. It's a pleasure to meet you. Yeah, there he is. The auburn-haired man. Awesome. Let's get a good look at you. Hold on. Yep. Looking pretty good. I'm curious about the one glove action, but we'll talk about that later.
Likewise, my strange-looking friend. Helvete.
What was that?
Oh, then what about Ilia Wiskavasis?
I don't understand.
I see. Not to worry. I am Jevite.
But, sir, we still haven't ascertained their identity.
That may be, but we're out of time. If we linger here, we'll be swallowed up by the sand dragon.
Sand dragon?
You don't know about that either, huh? For travelers, you sure are ignorant. Sorry, I meant brave. Over there. Take a look.
Sand dragon?
Do you see that gray storm? It might look far away right now, but within an hour's time it will be right on top of us. It's nothing like your typical sandstorm. Worst case scenario, we'll be buried alive. It would be helpful if we could speed this conversation along. My apologies, but I presume you don't want to die here, correct? Where do you come from and where are you headed? Cyrus, what should we do?
Should I be honest with him? All I had learned was his name and that he was from this region. I still didn't know his background or how he found us. But I'm worried about this sand dragon. I can't risk putting the rest of the group in danger. Hey, now we get to look at your sprite. Cool. I am Cyrus. This is Finn and Adage, and over there is Ulrik. We're a group of explorers from a country beyond the fog.
Explorers, eh? What exactly are you looking for?
Everything. We want to learn as much as possible. We didn't even know there was anything out here. You don't believe me?
It's just your choice of words. Those trying to conceal their true motives often introduce themselves as mere explorers.
Are you calling her a liar?
Oh, don't give me that look. I'm simply saying it's difficult to believe you when there's no way to prove whether you're telling the truth. Despite my appearance, I happen to be in a position of some authority. Well, sort of. We can communicate with one another, and you seem fairly trustworthy. I'll offer you my protection.
Are you certain?
Yes. Right back ahead of me and let them know I'll be bringing 4 guests.
At once, sir.
He seems awfully eager, don't you think?
I am concerned about this sand dragon, so I think we should go with him. It helps that we can communicate, and if anything happens, we can escape in the buggy. We'll go with you, red-headed stranger. Just lead the way.
As you wish.
What unusual horses you have.
These are camels. Horses can't survive in the desert. Camels can survive for days on end without food or water. They're an essential partner on long journeys. How did you manage to make it this far without one?
We came on my buggy.
Buggy?
This thing right here. It's way faster than those creatures you call camels.
Wow, that's quite an interesting contraption. Would you mind if I had a look? I assume you won't be leaving it here.
No, but I don't know where we're going. Actually, I guess I can just follow that guy who went ahead of us. I'll have to hurry to catch up, though. The wind is already picking up. We better get moving. Everyone climb aboard.
What about Jevite?
I'll travel alongside you on my camel. I need to get it back somehow.
You think you can keep up? I'd like to see you try. You'll be surprised how powerful this thing is.
Ulrik smiled fearlessly as he gripped the control handles. And then he suddenly took off, aiming for the looming shadow on the horizon. Wah!
Are you alright, Cyrus?
Yes. Thank you for catching me.
He'll catch you any day.
Hey! Take it easy! I'd like to get there in one piece if you don't mind.
Don't worry about it. We're well within acceptable tolerances.
I don't give a damn about that!
I don't care about your buggy. I care about me.
Wow, he wasn't kidding. Alright, let's get out of here before the sand dragon arrives.
Jevite's like so not bothered. Like, okay, cool. Ooh, new architecture. The stable's very fancy.
Is it going to fit?
I think so. It'll be tight though, so I'll have to be careful. What I'm more concerned about is
That smell.
exactly.
Oh, does it still smell? We used to keep camels in here. It'll be alright. You get used to it before long.
It's called olfactory adaptation. The smell's still there, you just don't notice it.
I really don't want it to set into the buggy. We'd stink up the air wherever we fly. Even though the sand makes aerial travel impossible anyway.
Do you think you can fix it?
It's hard to say until I take a closer look. I think so, but it might be difficult to acquire parts or replacements, depending on how different their culture is. I'd like to get started right away. Is that alright with you?
Of course. I just need to announce your presence here. You'll require a change of clothes too, so you don't stand out so much. It's like you're inviting suspicion the way you're dressed.
I suppose we do look rather out of place.
Exactly. We don't want you being alienated. I'll choose some suitable clothes for you. If you don't approve of my taste, you can find something for yourselves in the city.
King Jevite, preparations are almost ready.
That was fast. I wonder if he was already expecting us. Now, you're about to have an audience with the king. But first, I'll need to confiscate your swords, just for the time being.
Our swords?
You're about to meet with the most important person in our country. I'll return them to you right after, so please just try to tolerate it for now. What if you try to attack us once we're defenseless? I won't. Personally speaking, I have no reason to harm you. Personally speaking, there's no telling how the king may respond. But there shouldn't be any problems as long as none of you act out of line. Unlike me, he takes himself very seriously. So be on your best behavior, okay?
The king? So you live under a monarchy here?
Well, yes. Does that surprise you?
It does. In our country, kings are the stuff of fairy tales. Even the depths have a representative democracy.
Wow, this cultural exchange is fascinating. I'd love to know more, but we mustn't keep the king waiting. Come with me.
Well, he seems affable so far. What a curious style of architecture. Everywhere I look, there's something to draw the eye. The hallway was breathtaking. The columns were meticulously carved, and the walls were painted with intricate geometric patterns. Shout out to whoever drew this background, because my goodness, I can only imagine how long that took. Even the ceiling was adorned with golden ornamentation that seemed to catch the sunlight. It all appeared to exude an air of history and tradition, and my heart leapt in my chest. I had traveled to every one of the districts in the depths, but I had never seen architecture like this before.
Do you want to try closing your mouth? You look ridiculous.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for letting me know.
I get why you're drawn to it. This place is fascinating. It looks like a set of ancient ruins.
Ancient ruins?
I guess you could call the flood ancient too, though. I mean even older than that. Apparently there were structures like this in far-off places well before all that happened. But they were ruins. Remnants. They had collapsed long ago, so the only people who visited them were scholars and robbers. This place is still thriving. Haha. It's just so interesting, isn't it?
Kinda is. I'm so curious if we're getting all these like side conversations with Ulrik because we've got approval with him, and if that will change in future routes, depending on, you know, if I'm doing like Adage or something. I'm most curious, or if it's just always Ulrik I'm talking to.
We're here. The king is waiting just beyond these doors. My apologies for bringing you in the back way. I really wish I could have shown you around the city first, especially since you've never been here before.
No, don't worry about it. Who are you anyway? I mean, he was like, you should get inside. I don't know. I'm like, that one's probably for Jevite. Like, asking more about him. Alright, let's hurry inside. Oh! Interesting. That was an increase for you. Okay. I'll ask about you in a future route then. Apparently, since you would rather we hurry inside. Okay. Let's hurry inside. We don't want to keep him waiting.
You're right. Well then, shall we? Please be sure to mind your manners.
Mind your manners.
My apologies, Your Highness. I've brought the travelers with me.
And there's the other one. King.
Yes, very good.
That's the king. King, the ruler and symbol of a nation. Like Saint Yune and the assembly rolled into one. He was seated so high that he had to look down at us. I wondered if it was to create a clear sense of separation. There's a similar room in the temple, but it doesn't have this height difference. I noticed a second throne next to where the king was sitting. It had the same design, but it was empty. I couldn't tell its purpose or significance. Why are there two thrones side by side?
How long do you intend to stand there, King Jevite?
King Jevite? What?
Well, it's easier to introduce them from down here, but I don't suppose that's an option, is it? Come. I didn't think so. Right, coming.
Jevite is also king? Our journey here, the people's attitudes. Now it all made sense. I never expected this place to have two kings. Or that we'd already met one of them. There's a clear height difference going on here, though. The way he's sitting. Oh, that's great. Jevite glanced back at us to make sure we didn't say anything inappropriate as he took his throne. With the empty seat filled, the image should have been complete. But there was something unsettling about the fact that the man we'd just been talking to was now sitting up there. This is no time to lose my composure. I need to stay calm. This was their domain. They were the ones in control here, not us. I focused on my breathing in order to steady my nerves. Then I decided to... Let's take the lead. It's an honor to be in your presence, Your Highness. I am Cyrus. We are a group of explorers sent from a country beyond the fog, just a short distance from here. I'm the leader of the expedition. Starting from my right, this is Ulrik, our engineer, Finn, our guard, and Adage, our doctor.
What are you here to find?
Everything. We haven't seen much yet, but so far it's all quite different from our home.
They don't seem hostile, do they? They're just a group of explorers. I did not ask your opinion. Sorry. I know how busy you are, so I can find out all the details from them later. Shall I at least give them a cursory introduction? It will make things awkward if they don't even know your name. Do as you wish. Thank you. This is Jereme, my older brother and king of Cainabel, our country. And as you already know, I am Jevite. I'm humbled to share the same title as my brother. I don't enjoy deference unless it comes from servants, so I would appreciate it if you continue to address me as you have been. My brother and I are joint rulers, although in reality everything falls on his capable shoulders. Now, they don't seem to know the first thing about this place, so why not let me look after them? I'll take responsibility if anything happens. Do as you wish. That is all.
You have beautiful hair, by the way.
Thank you very much. You have my sincerest gratitude, King Jereme.
I feel like there's some underlying tension between the bros.
He gave us permission, so shall we be on our way too?
Jevite.
Wait, not yet. It's a breach of etiquette to speak privately in the throne room. Let's get outside first.
Don't speak privately in the throne room. Try to remember that for later. Ooh, that's pretty.
This is the courtyard. It connects the throne room to everything else, from the barracks to the royal bedrooms. Some areas are restricted, so exercise caution.
What do you mean? Which parts are off limits? It would help if you told us in advance.
Ah. Well, I have free run of the place, so I'm not entirely sure. Those areas always have soldiers stationed outside, though. As long as you listen to them, there won't be any problems.
This is such a beautiful garden.
Do you like it? Is there anything similar in your country?
Talk about the depths. The closest I can think of is in the depths. There's a man named Eltcreed who has a garden very similar to this.
You think so?
Yes.
Seriously?
What's with that reaction?
Because it's not the same at all. Is there something wrong with your eyes? What are you even looking at? I'm actually a little scared that you see the world so differently.
Look, it's a garden, okay? Yes, it doesn't have this cool fountain and lanterns, but it's a garden. Okay?
It's full of hideous abstract sculptures, and it doesn't even have a fountain. Except for the fact that it's a garden, the two have nothing in common.
But it's so spacious. I'll bet there's a fountain somewhere if you look.
I'm telling you, there's not. Although I'm sure he'd be more than happy to install one if you asked. There is nothing like this in the depths as far as I know. Water is used to sustain life and operate factories. People aren't really in the habit of admiring it.
Very interesting. Is that the name of your country? The Depths?
It's more of a general term for the area than a country. And everyone here but me is from the Heights.
I see. Doesn't seem like the sort of thing we could adequately cover just chatting here. I'd love to hear about it in more detail sometime.
Jevite looked in the direction of the throne room and let out a heavy sigh. Like that.
I'm glad we got through that without incident. Due in no small part to your shrewdness.
My shrewdness? I hardly even said anything. And besides, You're
wondering why I concealed my identity. Sorry. You never asked, and I suppose it isn't the sort of thing I like to advertise.
That's why you didn't... we got approval with you for not asking about you. I understand. Oh no, that's not what I meant. It was just the fact that you have two kings. In all the books I've read, there's only one, and they're almost always old. I was surprised to see it's different here.
Oh, that. It varies by country. Cainabel has only recently moved to a two-king system. During the previous king's reign, it was an absolute monarchy. His unexpected death sent the palace into chaos. In light of the country's political situation, it was decided that my brother and I should share responsibility. But that's only for the time being. It won't be long until complete control is handed over to my brother. He's the first in line, and a wise ruler. I can't complain. As for me, I'm nothing more than a figurehead. Just the dim-witted second prince. But anyway, my birthright has its upsides. I'll use my status to show you the best possible time while you're here. I wouldn't want people spreading the word that our country is inhospitable after all. Just don't make any trouble, alright? Otherwise they'll have my head. And I mean that literally.
I understand. We appreciate your kindness.
You're so polite. Are all the women like this where you're from?
I'm not sure. My mother always seems cheerful. What do you think, Ulrik?
What? Why are you asking me?
You're an information broker, so you probably deal with all types of people.
And you're a police officer, so that should go double for you. I wouldn't say all women are like that. This one is special. Or odd is more like it.
Oh, you admitted she was special. Ulrik thinks she's special. Odd?
I mean, it's true. You're a daunting sword fighter and way too serious. The way you talk to Finn is odd. The way you hang on my every word even when you don't understand is odd. You're just all around odd. In other words, no one else is like her. You definitely shouldn't take her as standard.
You sure have a lot to say about it.
What? I just answered honestly. You should be grateful.
Well, there you have it, Jevite.
It's much appreciated. Although I get the feeling you were just showing off how close you all are. Now, your rooms are beyond this door.
Maybe Ulrik was like, hey yo, don't you flirt with my girl. This is a nice place too. I like these backgrounds. So detailed though, my goodness.
First is the living area, a common space. A servant is always on duty for security reasons, but they all keep to themselves.
Feel free to gather in here. Private rooms have been prepared for each of you. Starting from the left is Finn's, Adage's, Ulrik's, Cyrus's.
We have assigned rooms?
They're all identical, but a change of clothes has been laid out for each of you in them. You're free to decide amongst yourselves if you don't find the arrangement suitable. My room is at the far end of that hall. Call on me if you need anything. Apologies in advance if I happen to be out. Speaking of which, I may have to attend to some business in the morning, so I'd like to take the opportunity now to show you around the city. What do you say?
I don't mind. What about the rest of you?
I have no objections. I'm willing to go anywhere.
I'm exhausted, so I'd prefer to take it easy. I'll go if this is my only chance, though.
Oh, I guess I'll go too.
You sound so irritated.
Of course I'm irritated, but damned if I'm going to be the only one left behind. Then it's settled. I'll wait here while you all go get changed.
Okay, we'll be right back.